Today we are just moving to the third session of the fast APIs, and we are just going to discuss about the query parameters. So in the previous sessions we'll discuss about how we run, understand what exactly the fast API, then we'll discuss how we can create a how we can set up get API with the help of Python in the fast APIs, and how we can execute the UV server, and then we'll move on to the path parameters. So in the today's session we are just going to discuss about query parameters. So we are just going to discuss about query parameters. So let's first understand what exactly the query parameter is. So if you will see, you have an URL http whatever the IP abc.com or abc.com slash any you have any path variable here, and after that you'll see there will be the question mark, and after that it will be written like data is equal to something n number of data, and after that AND operator, then you will see where 1 equal to 1 2 3, like so. You will see these parameters are known as the query parameters. So we are just going to discuss about today how we can write an API that where we can pass the query parameters. So let's quickly move to the hands-on part. So let's discuss. We'll just copy in the previous session. Let me just iterate a little bit about it. What we have done, we have just import the fast API. We'll just create an instance of fast API, and after that what we are doing, we are just creating an app instance dot get, and defining our endpoint. And let me just copy our first endpoint that we have created. So today we are just going to discuss about query parameter endpoint. Okay, so how we can write? So let me just define it. So this is my test, and after that I am just writing okay, so after we are just writing here path. So let me just specify here path, so it's better to be explain here. And instead of this ABC, let me just copy my domain name or whatever the URL you have, and I'm just removing this HTTPS. So we are just going to create this endpoint in my local instance. So for that, what we need to define, app whatever the instance of app dot get, and then path parameter. And now the query parameters, we are just going to discuss the query parameter what we are just taking here. So let's define the query parameter here. So I'm going to define data. So now you can specify here data. By default the data will be of string type, so I'm just specifying here str. And if you want and if you just make it, what's the default value of that str, so you can just write here that str will be of none type. At the beginning it don't have any value, and after that when you are defining the var1 variable, will consider this is of an integer type, and its value will be at the beginning 0. Okay, so we have defined these things. Now I'm just trying to print these values. Query parameters will be the data as well as var1. Now to the safer side, whatever my message, the message response, what I am going to prepare, response is equal to data. Let's create one more JSON string here. I'm just writing here data. So data is equal to I'm appending here data, after that plus I'm putting here comma, then I am writing here var1 or any whatever the object that you want to create. That's a message statement only, and after that I'm just writing plus, and that's a var1. So the response string that we have prepared, we just send this response string in the response, so that will be the we can see these things into the browser. So we have successfully created an endpoint. Now it's time to be test this endpoint. How we can test this endpoint? So let's test this endpoint. After that, I'm getting one more endpoint, that is my path endpoint. That path endpoint that we'll told, that is a query parameter endpoint. So now let's start with the test. How we can test? You have two options. You can just go over here, you can click over here, and you can just click on the try, and you can pass your parameters. I'm assuming I have a data test one, and I have some default value right here. And when I'm trying to execute this, when I'm executing this, I'm getting the response. And if you will see, this is my response that we have prepared. So in the response, I have the data and the message. And if you will see, whatever the data that I'm passing, I'm able to see here. The same thing you can just validate and verify from here. You can just write your query parameter. You have the question mark over here, data and number, and you can press enter. You will able to see the whatever the parameter that you have passed over here. So right now what I have here, I have the query parameter, data and num. So that's a small demonstration that we are just seeing how we can just pass the query parameters, and I think it will be helpful for you all. So I'll just request to you all, please do the practices and all along with the sessions. It will be very helpful, and you can also follow the official website of the fast.api documentations. And thanks for watching. So we'll just meet into the next sessions with new programs and all. Thank you.